discussion that we had off the air.
Okay.
Because this passion project that he has wanted to do is finally going forward. Pratt is he's a new kind of assassin who manifests his toughest skills of 3 different personas. He's a split personality.
Oh, okay.
And so
McAvoy could kill it.
So he's Cowboy Ninja Viking, you know.
I want to see this.
So there you go. But Leigh and Jimmy were having a discussion off mic.
It wasn't
It's
an
not-
argument. It wasn't
it's not
even
even
an argument. It was
Yeah,
just a
it was
discussion.
It's because you believe that he's not capable of
I should,
acting outside the box.
I say that he has a very interesting and kind of narrow highway of acting experience at this point.
Well,
I'm not saying he's not capable.
Sure,
I'm
we
saying
just
that
don't know.
so far we've only seen him drive.
We haven't gotten those tires dirty yet.
He's still very much, even Star-Lord is still Andy from.
And he's still Jurassic World.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same. I totally agree.
Did he show any range in the Jennifer Lawrence space movie? Where
Other than being creepy and sexually rapey.
was there any range there? Because
Well,
I didn't see it.
That-
Well, he didn't show necessarily range, but he did show distance from his future ex.
Actually, great. Speaking of what
Oh,
Tony
did I
did,
just throw some shade?
what Tony did last episode about YouTube videos. There's a great video, and I can't remember who did it, but who said if you re-edited Passengers, and to where you watch her wake up and he's just there, like you take out, you could flash back to what he did, but like it makes it such a better movie.
Yeah.
You're talking. I mean, people are like, "Oh, he's raping and shit." Like, I don't agree with that. I think it's a guy in crisis who made a really bad fucking decision.
I think that good cinema allows you to kind of interpret lots of different things.
Sure.
So,
But I watch that video though. It's about a 10-minute video of
So the movie starts with just her waking up. It's from her perspective.
it's her perspective, and
Now
she
that
wakes
would
up.
be
And
John had an interesting thing that changed the movie for me. It actually nudged it up a couple of columns in my respect box, and that was that he said, "Watch Groot because he's angry." And that changed the character for me so dynamically, because prior to that, all I was getting caught up on was the merchandising aspect and how cute he was.
See, that's
But he's
why,
really-
and that's what I liked about him from the beginning, that he was pissed off all the
I
time.
didn't see that. I was allowing my own bias to kind of paint the picture differently, and his anger, as I was watching it, realized that he made him a more compelling and interesting character. But what did stand out to me watching the movie last night is that Pratt was very much Andy Dwyer from Parks and Recreation.
He's always been.
Yeah, he's more buff. And you know what? I'm not going to get down on him because he hasn't had his Bruce Willis moment where he's had to be anything other than Bruce Willis. You know, Bruce Willis had to actually do some acting in 12 Monkeys and a couple other movies where he had to stop being Bruce Willis and start being an actor. So I know Pratt's going to have that moment, but it was interesting watching this movie where I'm like, I've seen this part before. This is the same part he always plays. He's just more buff and in space as opposed to
Jason Bateman in anything.
well,
Jason
Except
Bateman.
Ozark.
he also
Yeah.
wasn't
Ozark
given,
is
he wasn't given a
fucking
lot to
insane.
do in the Magnificent Seven.
Jason
you know.
Bateman also plays a completely different character in Smokin' Aces. He plays a drug addict bookie who wears a bunny hat.
That's the same character that he always plays. Jesus, God.
With your realization about Baby Groot, I'm just excited that in the year 2027, I'm going to get 200 schmeckles from you guys in the wasteland.
Oh, with the bat.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you don't realize by 2027 the schmeckle will be deregulated completely, have no value. It's bottle caps.
I don't
You're
even know if it's a
getting
good deal or
bottle
not.
Well, I've
I know.
got,
I like your bottle cap reference.
since we're on the James Gunn stuff, I've got some of that here.
And Zardu Hasselfrau.
You can see his brother at Salt Lake Comic Con. James.
I-
Sean
Right.
Gunn.
That's right.
I'm going to say this right here and now.
Mhm.
I need to moderate that.
Which one?
Sean Gunn.
I've suggested it. For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
I go because not only has he done Guardians, but Gossip Girl, and you rave about it.
It was
Yo,
not
Gossip Girl, I
It
fucks
was-
with Gossip
It
Girl.
was Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Other
and,
girl.
and he's also the brain behind PG porn, which is the greatest thing you can watch on YouTube.
Those
It
things are
is dope.
fantastic.
It's dope.
All right. So here is James Gunn clarifying. Since it's out this week, we might as well do these stories. Why not?
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Months after the release of this film, we're still talking about the 5 end credit sequences, which are, of course, on there. First up, the 2 most potentially impactful scenes, the reunion of the original comic book Guardians of the Galaxy, led by Sylvester Stallone, and the cocoon of Adam Warlock.
But there's no Vance Astro.
No. When the film was released, Kevin Feige said that neither of those would be explored again until at least Volume 3. So some assume that meant by, yes, it will be addressed in Volume 3. James Gunn has clarified. He says, I didn't promise either of those things are coming together in Volume 3. I am just sowing the seeds of what's going to be the future of the Marvel Universe. I mean, we saw Thanos how many years ago? You know what I mean?
Right,
So
true.
I want to make it
Was it
clear.
like 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was
I
a
want
while
to make
ago.
I want to make it clear. I'm not promising those things in Guardians 3, so don't create that movie in your head. Then there's adolescent Groot. You see him in the 4th scene.
Thank God.
A growing Groot, about 4 feet tall, being very angsty to Star-Lord, who has finally learned to speak Groot. That Groot looks very similar to the Groot that Marvel revealed in the Avengers Infinity War. So Gunn confirmed that that will be that aged Groot in Infinity War. You're going to get the adolescent Groot. So that's what we've got there.
The other realization from the commentary was Gunn talking about how this Groot has no memory of the other Groot. He's a whole new Groot. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of his frustration and anger at Drax in particular is Drax doesn't like Baby Groot at
Yeah.
all, and he treats him like shit. And Groot doesn't see any reason to be nice to him because he doesn't remember any teamwork camaraderie between them.
So there is that. So he said, just because you saw that original team, that doesn't mean that's Volume 3. And he clarifies it again a little bit later. He talks about the cosmic plans that are coming for, he's already got the songs in his head picked for Volume 3. He set that straight. He's got...
It better be NWA.
It's going to be interesting to see because of the Zune. The Zune brings
got
a
a
whole
Zune,
new thing
man.
into it. Yeah.
300 songs.
Here's the thing:
Oh,
is
boy.
that the way he describes the soundtracks for the first film, he says that's his mother. He says Volume 2,
That's his father.
yes, his mother did prepare that mix, but that's Yondu's mix.
Okay.
Volume 2?
First to it, Volume 2
Really?
has Yondu's.
I
mix.
thought of Volume 2 almost as the
Ego.
stuff that his mom and his dad were listening
Yeah, that's
to.
what I figured it was Ego's mix.
Because there's a lot of stuff. There's a
I
lot
have
of
to
stuff.
re-listen. That's interesting that you said
Yeah,
that.
no, he
now
said
I want to
he
take a
said
second listen.
he said it's all about Yondu, that
Huh.
mix. So then there is the let's see, and then he says he's got the songs ready for the third. He wouldn't disclose the amount of 80s and 90s songs included. His hesitation seemed to suggest there were several entries from that era, and there is a deleted scene where they talk about the Zune and what's on the Zune, and this is on
I saw this.
This is on the Blu-ray, where they mention some artists like Alice Cooper, for example.
Yeah, she's
I'm
pretty
just
good.
hoping for 10,000
Yeah.
maniacs.
She's
10,000 maniacs.
She's pretty good.
I just want NW. I just want to see them
Country
shoot up
blonde.
to shoot them up to Straight Outta Compton. I think that would be dope. There's room for that. James Gunn, there's room. Straight Outta Compton.
But here was the
That'd
big
get him an R rating.
the big broad side of last night though. Watching Guardians 2, like that soundtrack is really, really, really instrumental to the movie, right?
Yeah.
And Guardians 1 soundtrack is super instrumental to the movie. Watching it last night and going, I would not want to see a cinematic soundtrack battle between the director of Baby Driver and the director of Guardians.
Well,
Bring in the director of Atomic Blonde.
here's the thing: is that the director of Atomic Blonde called James Gunn quite a few times
Yeah.
to say, "Are you putting this one in Volume 2? Because
I
if
still-
you are, I'm not going to."
I still think Edgar Wright might do music in a movie better than just about anybody alive right now.
Oh,
But
without a doubt.
yeah,
Well,
I think
the
all
way it
three
was
of
used
them.
in
I think
Ba-
all three of them are great.
but let's
I'm
throw.
not
But Baby
debating whether or not
Driver-
they're good.
But Baby Driver, there is the shit is timed to
That
the
the fact
the-
that every gunshot during that Queen song was perfectly timed to the beat of the Queen
No.
song.
The choreography of Baby Driver is unparalleled.
Yeah.
I mean, it is something that
And we were
like Edgar Wright could do.
after Scott Pilgrim, there's no doubt that dude knows
Well,
sound.
and also like in fucking Shaun of the Dead
yeah,
when they start beating the zombies with the fucking pool sticks
to a Queen song.
to a Queen.
Yeah, there's some about percussion and Queen songs and Edgar Wright.
Well, but I would throw Tarantino into that mix
Yep.
too. So
Tarantino
Yep,
is
yep.
the master of a soundtrack and how that soundtrack influences the movie and the mood of the movie. That's